Welcome back to our February focus on healing your heart. Today I'm going to share with you 5 hacks on dealing with anger that your heart's going to love. Number 1, shocking responses to anger. This is good. Okay, so when somebody's really angry at you, there's 2 ways you can respond. One is natural and one is supernatural. The natural way to respond is like one of our clients did. She got really upset and was hollering in the parking lot, and I went out to see what was wrong, and somebody had offended her, and she said, somebody offended me and I'm going to give it back to him 7 times harder than what they sent it to me. And she just had taken that anger and she had multiplied it in her hands and thrown it back, and it caused a big ruckus and an uproar. But when anger comes at you, you have the God-given ability to multiply that in your hands and use it for good. So when that anger comes, hold it. Don't let it hit your heart. Just hold it and think about it. And think about how you could transform that and send it back in a way that would be encouraging or blessing or loving or caring or soft. You could say things like, that doesn't sound like you. I've always seen you as someone who I really respected. And there's all kinds of ways to send back, multiply it, and send it back in a way that will turn it around. And instead of multiplying the anger, it will absolutely diffuse it like fizzling in the rain. Okay, number 2. Number 2 hack, how to stop from blowing your top. When we blow our top, it usually means that we've been storing information, storing anger, storing fuming, storing the record of wrongs for a long time until it's about as high as the Empire State Building. Then you're just waiting for the last straw. Oh, if that happens again, he's going to get it. If that happens again, I'm just going to give it to her. And so they do it again. And that was the last straw. You just stepped on my last nerve. And the volcano spews and the hot lava goes all over that person that you've been saving it up for. So here's your person that you just got the hot lava all over you. How do you feel? Do you feel shocked? Yes, you didn't expect that to come. Do you feel disrespected? Yes. Do you feel unloved? Yes. So is that effective? Probably, because I won't do that again if I know it might cause you to spew again. And so I might change my behavior like you want me to, but it would be out of fear. So now we have this relationship where I'm not doing what you don't want me to do, but I'm doing it because I'm afraid of your anger. And that is just not too effective. It's not relationship building. So how can you do the whole process all over again and stop from blowing your top? Here's what to do. So let's say that somebody is always throwing their clothes on the floor. There's a lot bigger issues than that, but we'll pick an easy one. They're always throwing their clothes on the floor, and you're always having to pick them up. So here they are. They throw their clothes on the floor, and you think, that's so disrespectful. You know, they could put it away. I'm not their maid. And so you pick up their clothes and you put them away, and they do it again. And so you just start, instead of stacking up all these offenses, what you can do is just forgive them. So here they throw it on the floor, and you pick up their clothes. Instead of thinking, how disrespectful, don't they think about me at all? You could think about, well, that's probably what they did when they were kids and they just need to learn. Or you can think about all the things that they're going through and the struggles they're having and how they don't even think about what they're doing when they throw their clothes on the floor. And then, so forgiving is the first step, but then you want to change them. So how are you going to change them if you don't use anger to change them, if you don't use fear to change them? What if there's secrets in love that you don't realize that are much more effective? So what you do is wait for a time. Instead of looking for them to step on your last nerve, wait for a time when they actually do what you really want them to do. Like one day they come along and they don't throw their clothes on the floor. That's the really opportunity that you've been waiting for. So you go to them and you say, I really appreciate it. That made me feel loved when you picked up your clothes, because you were thoughtful of me. You were thoughtful of me, and you took care of things. And so I really felt respected when you did that. When you look into their eyes and express your love and express your belief in them, I really see what an organized person you are. And that means a lot to me. And when you look in their eyes and believe in them, and you express your love because you caught them doing what you really wanted them to do in the first place, then it changes their heart, and it makes them want to do what it was that you actually wanted them to do. And they may even come to the place where they would turn the world upside down just to please you. That's number 2. Are you ready? Number 3 is see right through the anger. I used to believe that what people said when they were angry was what was true. My heart was so hurt by love that when people said loving things to me, I really didn't believe it. But I believed that when they were really angry, that's when they would tell me the truth. But that's not necessarily so. Because when somebody's really angry, they're looking for things to say that will hurt, that will get their message across, because they're really hurt in their heart. So it's like their hands are open and they're looking for something to say, and evil's right there to give them ideas. Oh, just say that. That's really going to fix them. Oh, say this. That's really going to hurt them. That'll really get them at the core. And so evil supplies the thing to say, and then all they need is for you to just throw it good and hard and hit them right where it counts. But you can stop the whole process by seeing what's really happening when somebody's angry, when they're just spewing at you and all this stuff is coming at you. You can really see that the issue, the seed of all, is that they're hurt somewhere. And they're trying to get it across with exaggeration, with anger, with raised voices, with red faces and all that stuff. But you can calm it all down by listening for the hurt and caring about what they're saying and looking them in the eye, and even taking a piece of paper and a pencil out, and saying, let me write it down. I want to hear everything that you have to say. Let me write it down. So I always get on your last nerve. Just write it down. And so I'm thoughtless, heartless, uncaring, right? You write it down. I'm a big disappointment to you, right? Yes, that's it. How could I act like that? Yes. And you just write it down. And when people see that you actually care what they're angry about, it almost kind of takes the air out of the balloon. And you can really get down to the real issue. Oh, I disappointed you when I did that. Or you thought I was reacting to you, or you assumed that I felt like this, and so that made you mad. And so you can find out what's really going on if you can keep your heart from being hurt when they're angry at you, and you can be calm and collected and solve the problem without escalating it into a big argument and a time of division. So I hope that's helpful for you. Okay, number 4. Use trauma to your advantage. Now, you might not think that trauma can be used to your advantage, but this is one of my favorites. So when something terrible happens, everything, it seems like it comes in slow motion. Like 9/11, you remember where you are, you remember the room you were in, if you're old enough to remember 9/11, and you can remember lots of details about what was happening to you when you were listening to that event take place. And the same thing happens to us when we do something that's traumatic, like when you come home and you've just wrecked the car, or your kid breaks their arm and you walk into the room and it seems like for the one who did something wrong, when they finally have to tell somebody, or when somebody comes racing into the room, what their big question is, how are they going to react? And so when you come running into the room, anger, the natural way, can take over, and you can just let them have it. You stupid blah, 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 how could you do such a thing? And it's a time in trauma that seals something to your heart. So that reaction that you have is going to last possibly a lifetime, just like your memories of 9/11 will probably last a lifetime. So if you use that opportunity to speak into their lives in a way that convinces them that they're loved, it will change their life. You can also say, oh, this is a great opportunity to really hit home. Don't be careless. Don't you ever be careless again, or don't be so thoughtless, or listen to me next time. You got to listen to me. Whatever it is that you want to really hit home, sometimes you think that'd be the best time to do it. But when they're horribly sorry for what they did, from coming through the trauma, they just made their brother jump off the roof and their brother just broke their leg, they're just ready they already feel horrible. They already know what they did wrong. And if the first thing they get from you is, I love you. If you can hold them when they're falling apart, and they can know that you love them so deeply, that's something that they will never forget. It goes in slow motion. It's sealed in their heart. And it's the most valuable thing that you can do in a time of trauma. The first thing they need to hear is how deeply they're loved. Okay, number 5. How to apologize in a way that is really healing. There's one apology that I absolutely hate, and it's so unsatisfying. Somebody comes up to you and they say, and you know they did something to you, and they know they did something to you, but they'll say, if I did anything wrong to you, I hope that you will forgive me. And I want to say, do you not know whether you did anything wrong to me or not? I would rather not be apologized to than to hear something like that. Sometimes I've waited my whole life for an apology and I never got it. And so I learned that waiting for an apology is not necessary for me to forgive someone. I just need to just go ahead and do it. Then there's the unsatisfying apology, where they say, I realize that I did that to you and I shouldn't have done that to you, and I apologize, will you forgive me? And to me, that's very unsatisfying. It's better than nothing, but it's so unsatisfying because it seems like they take it so lightly and they have no idea the pain that I went through because of what they did. And so to me, the most healing apology that you can give someone, and it really can be an opportunity to heal that wound in their heart that you caused, is to apologize and say, I know that I did this to you. I know it must have hurt you, but what I really want to know is, how did it make you feel? And if they give you an opportunity to express the pain that you went through, then you have the sense that maybe they do understand a little bit. And maybe they do care, and maybe I can let it go because they did understand. Maybe I can experience a little bit of healing because they cared enough to listen to my pain too. So when you apologize, it's really hard. It's a really hard thing for self to do. It's a really hard thing for pride to do. But if you can slap your knee and open up and be humble, then and go for it and listen to what the other person is feeling, it'll go a really long way to healing your relationship. Colossians 3:12. Be gentle, humble, and unoffendable in your patience with others. Now, the goal is to be unoffendable, and it's possible. And gentleness helps a lot. Humility helps a great deal. Patience goes a long way. Being unoffendable seems like, wow, wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't that be awesome? Wouldn't that be mature? And I think so, and that's one of my goals. But another thing that helps is the way God loves you. Just fills you with love so constantly, so fully, so completely, that you can keep on giving it when it's hard. You can keep on giving it when they don't deserve it. You can keep on giving it in an endless way because there's an endless supply. And God keeps on telling you that you're royal, that you're beautiful, that you're blessed, and that you're cherished. We hope you have a wonderful day. We have one more video coming up next Monday, and that will be the end of our series, and we look forward to seeing you for that last one. God bless y'all.